Fingerprint background checks are now mandatory for all transportation and rideshare drivers in Austin. The idea behind the ordinance: do everything possible to protect passenger safety. In protest, the largest companies, Uber and Lyft, left Austin a year ago, and the city lost thousands of rideshare drivers. And another unintended result, KXAN investigator Kylie McGivern discovered: unpermitted drivers seizing the opportunity to make money. Kylie?
We first began investigating this problem 3 years ago, and now we've discovered many of these drivers have dangerous backgrounds. Our undercover cameras revealed just how easy it is for you to put your life at risk. Arteries of the city pump life into the heart of downtown. People like cab driver Johnny Rushing help that heart beat, a rhythm of pickups and drop-offs, providing safe rides he says others put in jeopardy.
It's kind of like trying to go off the grid and do things.
Off the grid, outside of the law, drivers operating without permits.
In their mind, they're getting a cheap ride, but at the same time, you don't know who you're getting in the car with.
No background checks, no oversight, and no guarantees. Though illegal cabbies swarm downtown, the city's caught fewer than 300 in the past 2 years. Of those, we checked criminal conviction records with the state and found histories that may make you think twice before jumping in the back seat. Assault, stalking, multiple DWIs, and a registered sex offender. We went undercover and found others on our own. Court records show this driver pleaded guilty and got 3 years probation for criminal mischief in the 90s. A decade earlier, he was convicted of theft. We first saw Tommy Cedric Harris break the law in 2014.
All you ever do is say, no money was involved, we're just free.
Have you ever gotten in trouble or anything?
That sound like the news reporters when they did put us on blast.
3 years later, he still remembers our first investigation, but clearly the exposure hasn't slowed him down.
We were doing this before Uber ever showed up. We were picking students up from UT and bringing them down to 6th Street, taking them home. Just decided to stay independent. It's worked out. I just need $12, you guys. Here you go. Oh, appreciate you, man. Hello?
Hi, Cedric. This is Kylie McGivern with KXAN. You gave us a ride a few weeks ago. We tracked down a phone number for Harris.
Clearly, I have no concerns about doing it this way because I've been doing it this long.
And we discovered the city has cited him 6 times for giving illegal rides in the last 5 years. Why not just get the permit then so you don't even have to worry about it?
Ain't nothing about no business and getting permits or trying to be a business and do that. No. I'm not interested in doing that. It's always going to happen. You're not going to stop that.
Does it happen? We're sure it's happening out there.
The challenge? Austin's transportation department says it really only responds when it gets a complaint.
If our office is not notified or we have not been told about who these illegal operators are, there's very little that we can do.
With so few complaints, just 3 last year and none the year before, there's little reason for the problem to be a priority. But here's what's at stake.
Worst case scenario, should something happen, you get assaulted or a number of things can occur. We won't have that information readily available as we would if it was someone that actually had a permit.
Police say they've set up stings in the past, but nothing is in the works now.
We have to see the money exchanged. So it's a matter of being in the right place at the right time to observe that in order to issue a citation.
But it wasn't hard for us to catch this crime on camera, over and over.
Do you take cash?
Yes.
One from an actual rideshare driver who broke the rules and turned off the app he works for, charging what he wanted, accepting cash with no company oversight.
It's okay, anything.
Is it 20?
Another driver?
Do you take cash?
Following the lead of others.
I've seen a lot of people doing it.
So do you have like a certain rate that you charge, or is it just like...
No, I'm not that professional. So, for example, I would just say, like, pay me whatever you would have paid a Uber or taxi. So if I start doing it, like, every day, then there's a chance I'm going to get caught like that.
There you go.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Looking up their license plates and digging into their backgrounds, we found no criminal records for those 2 drivers. Austin City Councilmember Ann Kitchen didn't like hearing about the criminals we did discover. Assault, stalking, multiple DUIs, a sex offender. I mean, these are just some of the charges. What do you think when you see that?
Well, that's unacceptable, of course.
Last year in an election, Kitchen and others pushed for fingerprinting every rideshare driver operating within city limits, just like taxi drivers. Despite the new safety ordinance, she says there's still a risk on the road.
You're taking your life in your hands. We need to continue to take every effort to crack down on drivers that are just ignoring all requirements and going out there and offering their services.
Rushing says that crackdown is years overdue. The crime now on a fast track.
It's hard to decipher who's legit and who's not.
We tracked down those other drivers in our story, and each one told us they felt like it wasn't a big deal. One driver even told us he was not aware that it was illegal. If they get caught, it is a Class C misdemeanor with a fine of up to $500. The places the city's catching them the most in the past 2 years, here on the 100 block of East 2nd Street and also at the Austin Bergstrom International Airport. Police warn you to make drivers show you their chauffeur's permit to be sure they're properly vetted. After we spoke with Councilmember Kitchen, she went straight to the Transportation Department to find out what more can be done and how the City Council can help. We'll be sure to stay on top of their progress. In downtown Austin, Kylie McGivern, KXAN Investigates. Back to you.
All right, Kylie, thank you very much. Remember, this is a problem we first started investigating 3 years ago, and we were tipped off to this update by a viewer like you. If you have something you think our investigative team should investigate, email us at report@kxan.com.